What's going on, guys? T2RX6 here, back for another third-party review, and today we're taking a look at the Warbotron WB-03C hammer sharpener, as he's referred to in Transformers. Of course, it is nose cone, and he is, of course, a drill tank thing. I'm not a huge fan of drill tanks, but I think that this one actually tends to be more likely to work, I guess is the way it is. I mean, really, the drill is too small. If you're drilling something out, there's no way that you would continue to get this thing in. If you've ever seen a tunnel bore thing, pretty much the vehicle would be mounted to just the drill itself. So the very thought is a little bit silly, but whatever. It's nose cone, right? Nose cone is also the one that I recommend storing his weapons in his vehicle mode, because I do think it makes him look a lot more menacing. If you do take these off, I just don't think that looks as good, so I always will put these guns on if I'm ever going to store him in his vehicle mode. These little rocket pods, they just articulate up and out, so it's not like you can even bring them back to fill it out or anything. I mean, that's just it. No wheels on here. Beautiful paintwork though, but no wheels. So he's not going to do any rolling. He's just a brick that sits there. This does articulate around, so you can move it around or up or whatever you want to do with it. So you do have some options where the drill is concerned. So let's get out the old Masterpiece car, and you can see he is wider, taller, and longer than your typical Masterpiece car. So he's a pretty big guy. So let's get this guy converted into his robot mode, and I'm going to take these off just so you can see, but they're not something you have to take off. This guy actually has a very Combiner Wars thing going on with his legs. I'm going to start by splitting them, and then do your best to get these pieces popped apart here on the leg. And we're loosening it up. There it goes. It's come off like that. And see how now we have this free, and then this whole thing will rotate up just like it does with Combiner Wars to reveal the leg. And then take these and kind of close it back up just like so, and we'll fix his little toe here, and he's good on that leg. So again, disconnect this side here and bring these up, bring this toe down, bring that leg up, and close it all back up again. Which I can say, these tabs on the leg can be a little bit of a pain to get to go back together, but once they clip in, they do work just fine. There we go. So there's his legs done. Yeah, you can put these back on if you want. We'll just leave them off for now. So for the top half of the robot, we're going to start, pull these arms apart a little. That's going to let this whole assembly kind of freely move about here, and we'll come back to that after. Take this piece, rotate it up, and you can see there's tabs plugged in just like that. Rotate this around so it's the right way. And I do find his transformation pretty fun. Disconnect this tab from the side here, and you can see that'll go up. And see, this is, when we talked about Lightspeed last week, this is the type of thing that they should have done. They should have given them a lot more range of motion off of those arms. But whatever. There we go. We come to these pieces here, and these flip up, and then you take this piece here and fold it down. And this is what always confuses me, because you take that and then it slides forward for the fist to come out, and then you can kind of close this right back up again. And then you can extend out this joint just like that. And this is not terribly pretty. I put mine up like that just so it takes up less room, but it doesn't clip in or anything. But we'll get to that after. Officially, it's supposed to just stay down like that. So we'll come back to this side, unplug this thing here, if we can. Geez, there we go. Now we can open up this top panel, fold the black flap in, extend the treads down, fold it back closed, and then work with the elbow joint so it's out just like that. Now we come to this piece, it kind of folds on the back and just kind of sits off his back like this. Nothing really tabs in, it just by friction will just fit there and sit just fine. And now of course we open this up, and of course we get the fiddly bit extractor, courtesy of Shattered Cast Uncut there. And we open this on up, and there we go. We've got nose cone's head, and I gotta say, you know, that looks pretty good. It kind of captures that square head of the G1 toy, while at the same time really giving him some kind of personality. When it comes to these arms, I again just really hate that there's nothing to do with these treads here. That we can't get them to just kind of stick in a position, and we're kind of stuck with this. I think that looks honestly pretty terrible. Like I said, I do put mine up like this, but it's not like they stay. Well, it's staying now, but they're not really intended to go back up there, and it would have been nice if they were grooved in some way that it was intended. These also do have a panel that you can flip open here, and then this little gun, if you can get in there, can be extended around to actually go ahead and give them little like underhand cannons, but I don't think that that looks all that good, so I just would prefer to keep them in there and forget that they exist, to be honest. So yeah, I mean, let's talk about his articulation here. He's got a head on a ball joint, a little bit limited by the socket on there, but it's really not too terrible. Gives me the left and right and just a teeny bit of up and down, which is all I really care about. Shoulder, much better than Lightspeed. You got the joint, the swivel, the bicep swivel. Oh, I thought he had a bicep swivel. Don't bicep swivel your guy, because he does not, so no swivel there. It looks like it does, but you will break it. Plenty of elbow though. I don't know, I've never noticed that he didn't have that bicep swivel. That's a little bit of a disappointment, because it really limits what you can do with his arms when you can only kind of give him poses like this. There's no way for him to take, I mean, he can't take his hand and, you know, take his gun and point it that way without actually just adjusting the whole hand, which is fine. It's just not the preferred style here. Again, these things suck. Coming down to the waist, we do have the waist swivel for transformation, the swivel, and yeah, the swivel, T-swivel type thigh, nothing wrong with that. A swivel at the thigh and the knee joint there, and you can see you can get plenty of range of motion out of the feet. It does look a little weird though, and then the rotation there. So when it comes to all his accessories, of course, you can give him his gun here. That's just fine. You could put these plates back on his legs to bulk them up, or you can actually put them in his hand, kind of like a shield. Here's that way, and the other way. I think it looks better with these down. These are actually little clip-in knives, and I think that's awesome. He holds them just fine, and they hold right in here just fine. I prefer to have them on the legs, and it'd be nice if you could like swivel them up, but the way the peg is, like, I kind of wish the peg was in the center and the center here, so you could just rotate them down so like you would have the knives up, but unfortunately it's not an option unless you want them to look a little bit crazy, which I guess it doesn't look terrible, but I kind of like the thicker look on the legs for my personal aesthetics. You also have the drill piece here, which does open up on both sides here. And then you can actually disconnect this little orange tip piece, which will cause the back of it to all fall out. And go ahead and just kind of put that back in position here. And then this actually rotates down like this, and you get some kind of like drill hammer type weapon, or guess you could go this way, like it's shooting out like a flame as he's gonna hit something. I don't know, it's cool. I do think that this guy borders on too many accessories once in a while, because for me, a big selling point on accessories is if I can find a place to store whatever is not in use, and that doesn't really feel like it's the case here. I mean, I guess I could do that, but it'd be nice if there was some place to put the gun, you know, after when it wasn't in use, but whatever. It is what it is. I'll probably end up just pretty much keeping the drill put away. So let's go ahead and bring out for size comparison once again the old Masterpiece Red Alert here. You can see again a little bit above a Masterpiece size, and since we have them handy here, let's go ahead and bring out Speed Wheel or Lightspeed. And you can see it's really looking like it's going to be a nice set. In fact, let's go ahead and bring out Turbo Ejector, otherwise known as Afterburner, and like really it's shaping up to be a nice looking set, and it almost makes sense of the aesthetic choices they did for Speed Wheel for the arms, because everybody seems to have these big arms. It's just a shame the articulation doesn't work for him. So before we go back to transform to his vehicle mode, I wanted to point out that I do think that nose cone here is better than Lightspeed, but I don't think either of them are as good as Afterburner, and for that matter, I'm not sure I think any of this set is as good as the Warbotron toys that came before him. They're all a little bit more difficult to transform, and they seem to be a little bit more limited than previous releases. That's not saying they're bad, and I do think that it's a nice looking set, and I do enjoy having these guys. I just think that maybe they cut a little corners on these guys, and there could have been a little bit better design here. So let's try to get Hammer Sharpener here to his vehicle mode, and we'll start by trying to open up the neck flap, which there's just nothing really to grip on, so it is a little bit difficult at times. And put his head away, tuck that in like that. We'll take these, and if you have them like I have them, then we need to fix that. So take them and just kind of, you know, get them to fold in the direction you need them to, which can be a little bit tricky. Nope, don't do that. That is not what we wanted to have happen. Fortunately, nothing bad happened, but in the process of trying to angle this elbow joint, I ended up pushing on the hand, which could have potentially stressed out that joint there. So be careful of that. There we go. Now we got that elbow articulating, and we can fold that in. So since it already happened, we'll fold that out. Fold this black bit up and down to kind of close off the tread there, and bring this tread around and just plug it into the back piece just like so. And we'll do that for the other side here too. Open it up, flip the black piece, fold it, close it, and peg it into place. Now we gotta look at the slots here and make sure that we're actually going to position this the right way, and I have a hard time remembering if I'm doing it right at first. I believe it's just like this, and it'll all become really clear in a second. It does peg in just like that, and yeah, that is correct. So we'll take this and unpeg this and rotate his waist so it's backwards, and now we can take this and fold it on up just like so, and that'll let us take this around here, and we just have to kind of move some of the arm bits out of the way as we fold the drill down, and then the arms will peg into the front of the drill tank there. So good, we got it right. We did it the right way. Everybody's happy. There we go. So now we'll come back to his legs here. Once again, we do the combiner wars thing where we disconnect these, fold this in and up, and peg it all together. Fold the little heel spur in and fold the toe down. So again, fold this up, just like so, and everything should all peg together solidly. Toe and heel spur. Peg this all in together. And there we go. Just make sure that our chest piece is actually all the way up, and we've got him in his vehicle mode. And as you can see, like I said, very plain without flipping these up. Why would you have the missiles pointed at the back of yourself? And just looks way better when you add the guns, in my opinion. So there you go. That's his vehicle mode. That's Hammer Sharpener. Overall, I find myself really enjoying this guy. I don't like the lack of the forearm swivel, or the bicep swivel, I guess, but it's pretty good. I mean, otherwise, it's a nice looking, you know, drill tank, as good as you can make a drill tank look, I guess. But it's not bad, and I like them in both modes. So, this is T2RX6. I hope you guys enjoyed the review, and I'll see you next week.